Alright, peace and greetings, YouTubers. So, the Kenneka Jenkins story. This is a difficult one to follow because, to be honest, I don't know what's going on. I've seen a million different theories about what's going on, and I still don't have a clear idea of exactly what happened. You know what I mean? I first saw this story Monday morning at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and I was like, oh, okay. And there were so many different theories and everything going on, and I think there was one news source that had reported on it. And I'll be honest, I don't always trust the news sources, especially if it's local news or if it's any of the news owned by any of the major corporations, because when it comes to black people, they like to withhold information, they like to change the narrative, sometimes they add stuff that isn't true, they do a whole lot of crazy things, so I don't always trust their words, so I always try to get like a million different sources before I form an opinion or take something as true. And the stories just were, they weren't adding up, so I was like, I'll go to work when I come back from work, everything should be together by then. But no, I get home from work, I start checking, and now there's a million more theories. It was like, this is crazy. But what I do know is that there was a hotel party, there was a young lady that was there, somehow she was found in the freezer of a Crown Plaza hotel, and now everything has blown up. And it's crazy because what I also had read that was reported was that the mother initially came out and was like, hey, she went to the hotel, my daughter's missing, she's usually not out this late, but this is the last place that she was, have you seen her, this, that, and third, and the hotel had a very nonchalant approach to everything. They're kind of like, as from what I even heard, they even told her, okay, you're going to have to go, we're going to call the police. And then by the time the police actually got involved with the case, they were so relaxed when they first jumped into the case. They were very nonchalant about everything, and they didn't take this case seriously until it blew up on social media, until Black Twitter got a hold of it, until, the Facebook live video that the friend kept posting on started spreading around. That's when the police started taking it seriously. And so it just gave me a bunch of different opinions and things to kind of feel some way about. And so the first thing I feel some kind of way about is, why is it that, and this is directed to the police and the hotel, why is it that every single time there's an element where the well-being of somebody black is called into question, whether they're missing, whether they've been sexually assaulted, whether they're feared dead, whether they haven't been heard from, whether there's anything that affects their state of well-being, why is it that the police are always relaxed? Why is it that people, when they hear about somebody who's black, who may be in trouble, there's never that sense of urgency that they have? Because think about it, this is the Crown Plaza Hotel. If this was a white girl that would have been missing and the mom would have said, oh my goodness, Rebecca, we haven't seen her, it's 4:30 in the morning, that entire hotel would have been on lockdown. Police would have been knocking door to door and everything like that. They would have been having the sniffing dogs running around everywhere. They would have got pigeons to fly and take telegraphs and telegrams to different places and stuff like that. That hotel would have been on lockdown. They would have went to the courtyard, and if the courtyard had a golf course, if it was a bigger hotel, like if it was one of the big giant ones in Dallas or something, they would have been checking the golf clubs to see if there was blood on the golf clubs. They would have been checking the kitchen to make sure all the knives were, they go hard when it comes to a white girl going missing. The whole world has to stop. But let it be some black girl, let it be somebody black who, people don't know where their well-being is. Oh, it turns into, oh, maybe they were a runaway. They were doing something they shouldn't be doing. Oh, well, we have a 48-hour wait period for missing persons. Oh, well, she's no longer a minor, so you just have to wait. So I think that's really jacked up. It's really, really messed up. And to think, our question too, there has to be some kind of surveillance about what happened, because this is the Crown Plaza Hotel. This is one of those bigger giant hotels. This is one of those big hotels that competes with like a Ritz-Carlton or one of the 50,000 affiliates of Marriott, or like the Gaylord Hotel, or some of the, what's another big giant one, the Hilton, you know what I mean? This isn't some bootleg Days In where Selena got killed, where Yolanda can go up in there and shoot Selena and ain't nobody know what happened unless Yolanda tells us what happened. It's not nothing like that, okay? It's a real place. So a place like Crown Plaza has cameras at both ends of every hallway, has a camera at every elevator, has a camera in every main common area, has a camera in all the banquet rooms, the kitchens, the lobbies, the pool, the this, the that. So I'm like, clearly there's some camera footage. I don't know if it's because maybe they're still investigating, so they don't want to release that footage, but there's a lot of fishy things going on with this case. And so when you look at some of the facts that have been pulled from, what I've been reading on social media, it's like one of the friends that was at the party works at the hotel, and so that led to a million different theories about how the girl ended up in the freezer. Because the police basically said, oh, well, she was so drunk, she just waltzed into the place and found the freezer, went in, closed the door, and died. That's the story they put out there. Because, of course, when it comes to black folks, as I said, there's always an element of just nonsense. And then when they try to tell you the story of what happened, it never makes sense. It's like Kendrick Johnson, the kid in Georgia who he was found, rolled into the wrestling mats at his high school, and nobody knew what happened. Nobody saw anything, and that's the same day. It's always the same thing. Whenever something like that happens, the surveillance cameras are never working properly. So with the Kendrick Johnson video, the camera gets everywhere in the gym except for where he got killed. That's the day where you had that camera that rotates, but that day, for some reason, when it came to black people, the camera just stopped rotating and it went back this way. It just could never get here and capture what was happening to the black folks. Absolutely not. Our camera stopped working that day. There's been budget cuts, taxpayer dollars, it's a tough administration, all that kind of crap. Or when you think of the guy in Baltimore who, he had a weed charge. He got arrested for weed. And he was found dead in the back of the police car. And they're like, oh, well, he killed himself. I was like, you think somebody's killed himself over a weed charge? Okay, that's just a few days of probation and maybe 6 days in jail. Really? Okay. But anyway, so, that was the theory they had about the girl. She just wandered into the hotel. But the problem is, when people started pulling up pictures of that freezer, it's this big, giant, commercial, industrial freezer that you can walk in with the big door that's because it's, as I said, it's the Crown Plaza Hotel. And so because it's one of these big giant hotels, it's one of these hotels that has the banquet rooms and everything like that. So they purposely have these big giant commercial freezers that are pretty difficult to just get into. You gotta have some muscle and some arm power, some elbow grease, something to kind of open these doors. So by them claiming that she was so drunk she just opened it and went into it, it doesn't sound like she would be in a position to do that, because like I said, they make these doors like really, really heavy and really, like they're sealed tight. Mainly because like a Crown Plaza, they have these banquet rooms, they host parties for these big giant corporations. So, the last thing Crown Plaza wants is for 500 rich people from Merrill Lynch to get sick because the freezer door wasn't closed all the way and the meat that was served wasn't frozen at the right temperature or some crap like that. They got them freezer things unlocked. So I don't buy the theory of her just walking into the freezer and it was open and she went there for some reason. It doesn't add up. And so I just have a million opinions about this. And then when I think about one of the main theory everybody's saying, the main theory is that people believe that this girl was raped at this party, and that the people at the party were all kind of aware of what was going on, because it doesn't help that the friend had everything on Facebook Live, and it doesn't help that she had shades on, and so you see the reflection of all kind of things in her shades. Now, I couldn't really make out what was going on, but I have seen a bunch of different theories, and I'm like, man, a lot of these actually make sense, but I don't know how true they are. But, so the theory is that the girl was raped, and then somehow she might have either died during the rape, and if she had died during the rape, that's where they put her body in the freezer because the friend already worked at the hotel. Or if she didn't die, you don't want her to talk and she's already drunk, just put in the freezer or something. I don't know. I don't know the full backstory, but it's crazy that the whole element of rape culture is becoming such a societal norm. It's becoming something where a lot of men think that women's bodies are owed to them. A lot of men think that women are supposed to be subservient to what they desire. A lot of men think that women are not, especially black women. It's really black women, because the tables change when it's one of these little Kim Kardashian lookalikes. They roll out the red carpet for them looking for those kind of girls. But like, a lot of men are like, when it comes to black women, black bodies, black value, it's like they don't value black women. They could give two F words about anything, you know what I mean? And so it's nothing to rape a black woman for some of these men. It's just the norm. They don't even consider it rape. She had it coming. Look what she had on. She knew what she was doing. Look, she was in this room with all these people. Like, if you look at some of the comments that people are making, I'm just like, yo, what? Who birthed some of y'all? Like, damn, some of y'all are just, I don't know. And it's this culture of being savage, this whole reckless culture that everybody's trying to merge into, that they think is the new thing. Let's just be as savage as we can because that's how we do. Think of all the social media videos you see where like somebody goes to a drive-thru, and when they get to the drive-thru window, they splash a drink on the person's face that works in the window. That's the culture we're in at the moment. Everybody's doing everything for social media, which, by the way, that Facebook Live video is going to be what solved this case on top of the surveillance from the hotel. Like, I'm telling people, like, stop putting all your damn business on the internet all the time. That's what get all of y'all caught up anyway. But it's a good thing that you Facebook Live this, because they're going to use that in court. But it's absolutely crazy. Like, people need to understand no means no. All right? Just because a girl is intoxicated, that does not mean that there's consent. Now, I don't know if she was raped or not. I'm not trying to say she was, but that's what's being put out there. If she was, then my argument still stands. No means no. leave it alone. If she don't want you, get over it. Okay, there's a lot of men who are really in a state where they really think women are owed to them. And it's like, you hear all these stories where there'll be like a young lady or something, she's walking and the guy wants her number, she won't give him the number, so he shoots her or he stabs her, he throws acid on her. Or just think about the last time you went to the club. It's the most entertaining thing to watch some people, how they will start dancing with a girl. It used to be, at least when I was 19, 20, 21, when I would be at the club or something like that, and if a guy really wanted to dance with a girl, it used to be, you might grab or reach for her hand or whatever, and she'd give it to you, and then you walk to the floor and you do all the crazy nasty stuff you do then. But now it's kind of like you're gonna be watching, you just see you snatch the girl. I'm like, what's going on in here? They just start snatching girls, and I'm like, okay, so that's that era has come and gone. But anyway, it's crazy that so many people are there's a lack of empathy, and there's always that element of blaming the victim, where it's her fault. Because a lot of people are saying, well, she need to watch who her friends were. This is the lesson, watch who your friends are. I think that's one of the lessons, but the main lesson out of this is to not rate people. Okay, the friends element comes after that. That shouldn't be the first thing, is, oh, you need to watch who your friends are. Because I do agree with that. You do have to watch who you associate with, because everybody doesn't have your best interest in mind. Everybody is really not down for you like you think they are. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're always going to have that friend that just is not really your friend. All right, you might be in a situation, think about when you're still in middle school or high school, maybe somebody was trying to fight you. If you had a friend that every time you were about to get in a fight, they were never there because they were always in the bathroom, that's that friend you might want to cut off, all right? If you got a friend that is about to let you, as an adult, get in a fight in the grocery store with somebody because they said something you don't like, and they know good and damn well that you just had a job interview and you're in the process of getting hired, a good friend is not going to let you clock that person in the face. A good person is not going to let you wreck in the grocery store because they know that you got a job that you're trying to, get and everything like that. You got a family to take care of, anything like that. Good friends will have your back with everything. A good friend is going to make sure that you're not in a situation where there is an element of danger. A good friend is going to sense that if something is out of place, if something is not aligned the way that it should be, they're going to make sure that they get out of that situation and that you get out too, and anybody else that they're tight with, we're all good. That's what a good friend does. But, that's not really, I don't want that to be the sole argument of this entire story, because really it's about safety, in my opinion. People have to be careful. You have to be careful in the environment you go in these days, because people are crazy. And everybody doesn't have your best interest in mind. Everybody, like people have said, are not your friends. And there are some lunatics out there that are going to do crazy things, especially when you incorporate liquor. You incorporate weed. You incorporate things that pull you out of your normal state of mind, and you're into a different space where you're still yourself. But, the liquor, the weed, everything else like that, it helps to influence you to make decisions a little bit less rational. More irrational decisions. I'm over here making up some horrible grammar at the moment. But I think that's the lesson, is learning to be careful where you're at, and also understanding that rape culture exists and that no means no. And that's for women as well, because there's some women that are real crazy and will do all kinds of things to different men. But it's disturbing what's going on. I feel really horrible for the mother and for the family, mainly because the mother went out there first and was saying this is an issue. And it's had the police or the hotel acted more promptly, maybe that girl could have been saved. Maybe something could have, been there, or something could have happened to intervene and stop whatever happened from happening. I'm not really sure what happened in that room. I've seen a lot of theories. People are saying, look at the glasses, listen to this mark. You hear somebody saying, help me. You hear this, and people think she said, help me, and then the girl turned the radio up. Somebody else was like, no, that wasn't her saying, help me. That was they were playing it on YouTube, and it was just buffering and kept skipping, and, a million theories. But either way, there's somebody who's dead, and I think that's where you have to put the focus. There's a life that's gone because of some foolishness. There's a life that's gone because some asshole, either they didn't like the fact that they were told no and they felt that they could just take advantage of somebody, or maybe this girl has some hating ass friends and they set the girl up, because that was another theory. Okay, they couldn't stand the girl, they set her up. But whatever it is, everybody's life is jacked up. Okay, Miss Jenkins is no longer here. That's unfortunate. Her family has to bear, the pain of burying a child, and then everybody who was in that mix, whether they were in that room, all of them, their lives have changed forever. And so that's something to kind of think about. And I always tell people, it's important that you try to live in your purpose, because when you're living in your purpose, you don't have time to get caught up in things that are going to get you in trouble. And that's more so addressed to the possible men that may have raped this girl, or the people in the room who allowed this type of thing to happen. That's not directed at Miss Jenkins. For anybody that thinks I'm trying to blame her, I'm not. So don't even go there. This is not that kind of video. But like I said, when you're living in your purpose, you have a standard that you set for yourself because you're working towards something. There's something you're aiming for. There's something you want to get accomplished. You're not just living day to day and living in the moment, but you're living towards something that helps you to want to be great and helps you to want to, you know, do all kind of things that you aspire to do, and be like, think these people are young. These are all like 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds. When you're 18, 19, you have just made it out the house. You know what I mean? And the world is at your feet, and you're supposed to have all these goals and this ambition, and you're supposed to want to do all these great things. And so for you to lose your life at 18, like, you didn't get an opportunity to live. And for you to ruin your life at 18 by raping somebody or being caught up in any kind of situation like that, you just ruined your opportunity for all the things that you could have been. You know, and that's some jacked up stuff. Now, fortunately, you know, sometimes there's second chances and some people can bounce back, but people got to think, like, your actions long term will affect you. And the fact that they put everything on social media, ooh, I was like, this girl really got all this stuff on Facebook Live. They on here smoke, and then y'all smoking weed in the hotel? Like, what y'all doing? No, like, and I'm not against weed, but like, if you if you paying for a hotel and you know it's a non-smoking hotel, you gonna smoke weed in it on Facebook Live, you trying to get yourself set up. So hell, if they don't get you for anything, they can get you for that. Like, think long term. Anyway, that's really sad. This will all come together soon. That surveillance video is gonna come out and everything's gonna be released. And when they do that autopsy, if they find DNA of anybody else other than that young lady, and DNA of any of the men in there, man, listen, that's a problem. And I've seen a lot of stuff. From what I read, somebody was saying like that one of the girls turned herself in. I saw another thing somebody posted on Facebook Live, and they're saying, oh, this was one of the girls at the party. She was actually trying to kill her. So I don't know how true that is. But yeah, this is a lot. We'll see where this goes. But yeah, just know, like, people are crazy. People, you can't trust everybody. No means no. And you know, it's just, man, that's tough. That's tough. They're really young, so that kind of sucks that that's the outcome. But anyway, I'm out. Subscribe.